Yo, what up? Got another war vid for you. This is war number 6. We're up against Gomp. Um, it looks like a pretty even matchup. I mean, these guys are pretty good for sure. I think that they finished in Master last season. I might be wrong about that. Here are the bands. We've got Doom, which is an interesting one. Torch and Ghost. That just means a lot of Hercs going to be going out on this attack for us. But so I've got this America Chavez on 5A. I'll talk about what my strategy was going in and how I had to adjust. Of course, we have Dr. Doom here. With the Ghost Band, I expect Dr. Doom will be placed on that node every single war, as he should be, as long as you're banning Ghost. And then I'll be going up path 8 in section 2. And then I've got a potential redemption fight, or I guess an attempt at redemption against this MODOK boss. I will be using Killmonger again, as you guys know. So the good news here is I get to bring in Cable for this war. So I will have a fully ramped Apocalypse right from the get-go, and that is going to help against the Chavez. So, all right, this node, I can't remember if I'm going to actually look into this node again. I'm pretty sure that I do. God, I hope I do. But it has ebb and flow knockdown, so you've got to knock her down in order to do, full damage. Otherwise, I think your damage is reduced by 60%, which is significant. But if you knock them down, then she'll become debuff immune for 8 seconds. And of course, that's, it's really good placement for her. With debuff immunity, she's going to be, throwing those heavy attacks, which is really what you don't want. You want to avoid that with America Chavez because that's how she activates her dimensions and stacks dimensions and all kinds of stuff. Now, the attacker tactic, power down, is when you add when you add the Wither debuffs. In her abilities, Withers are supposed to remove dimensions. So that's what I'm thinking. So going into this fight, I'm actually thinking I'm just going to play through the damage reduction. I'm not going to knock her down at all. Which, of course, makes no sense in hindsight because I need to do damage. I need to apply those debuffs. Apocalypse's debuffs. So right away, I'm like, wait a minute. This is not really going to work. Now, she did have her Withers there applied, and she didn't activate a dimension. So, maybe it's a wording issue with the attacker tactic. You guys can see, normally she would be activating these dimensions. She's not because she already has a Wither. But again, in her abilities, I'm pretty sure that it says Withers remove active dimensions. So now she activates a dimension. So it just doesn't. I don't know. I think it's a bug, but I'm like, well, shit. I'm not doing any damage here. So what should I be doing here? I decide that I'm going to bait this heavy or bait this SP2. I mean. When she throws her SP3, she activates all of her dimensions, which is not what we want. But we get a dex there. I probably shouldn't have risked it, but we're just going to throw this SP3. What I should have done here was parry heavy her first to throw the SP3. I would have lost the debuffs that he applies, but I would have at least done full damage. There you guys can see that the damage is just terrible, and now she's debuff immune anyway. This is the first time taking this fight on this node with Apocalypse. And I'm really kind of working out through the strategy as is. There you guys can see I tried to dex. I didn't get the full dex. Fortunately, I only took one of the beams. So that just took away one of my indestructibles. Not a big deal. I still have a couple left. And just kind of a weird fight here. So I think I'm going to chain my SP2 here, which, again, just bad thinking here. You guys can see the damage that I'm doing based on her health bar is not, it's not bad, but, I mean, I think that would have killed her if I had taken off the protection and activated my Fury. So, again, this is a situation where Apocalypse is he's really such a strong champ. you know, I'm able to kind of get through it, and it looks fine, right? Like you come out of the fight with 75% health, you're like, yeah, that was totally fine. Um, but there are a lot of different things that I would have done, or there are a lot of things that I would do differently if I had that matchup again, and I would definitely take that matchup again. I think it's a good matchup with the attacker tactic against America Chavez. I'd probably use a PS1 maybe, PS1 or an invulnerability boost, and I would just parry heavy before my SP2, then throw the SP2, get the damage or the power back. Even if I'm not applying the debuffs, it doesn't honestly matter with his damage. So, all right, this fight should be easy. I am going to knock him down so that I can get the big SP2 damage. I'll just have to, you know, be careful with his evade and all that stuff. And just be careful to not screw up an SP1 deck. So there, I knock him down. I'm going to wait out his monkey business here just to play it extra safe. There, we can throw the SP2, and I mean, look at this damage. It's hilarious. He does have a small health pool, so it's not like... It's still impressive, but it's, you know... I don't know. It's mostly his health pool, I think, in combination with Apocalypse's SP2 damage fully ramped. Alright, but that fight was like, I don't know, that was like a 10-second fight, right? Alright, so here we have Doom. I just activated the PS1 boost from the last fight, which is how I'm approaching this fight, you know, moving forward. The first time I took it, I can't remember what video, I think it was war number 3. I used the invuln because I was scared, but we're just going to take a block hit at the beginning. He tries to throw a heavy there. Now I've got the disorient up, and I'm just trying to gain disorient immunity here. I'm also not going to freak out when I get cornered and try to throw the SP2 for spacing, which is something I did in the first matchup. Okay, so now there's no stun reflection. It's completely removed from the node. I think that's a bug with Apocalypse. And I'm to my SP2. I just want to make sure that he's not throwing his SP1 and activating his aura. Now I have up Concussion. I'm able to, you know, do like the 85% SP2 evade the first 2 beams, take the third beam on the block, and then evade the last 2 so that I can get out of that and punish. There you guys can see I'm just stacking up those withers by alternating my combos. And I'll just have him throw this SP2 again, not a big deal. We're going to finish the fight with an SP1. So really safe and easy with Apocalypse. Really, it's just about surviving those first 8 seconds of the fight without making a mistake when you are trying to gain disorient immunity and not taking too much damage on the block there. Okay, and then... So Professor X, let's talk about him for a second. Obviously, he benefits from high ground. He's already somebody that you don't want to quake. If he's awakened, you don't want to quake him. And you can ghost him. You just have to kill him before he gets to 25 of his little charges because he gains vigilance. You guys just noticed underneath his health bar. But he's one of those defenders, I think, even benefited by the defensive tactic. I think he's a detriment on defense. It's hard to find a spot for him. He's not difficult to fight. And, you know, you always have to be worried about donating people Corvus charges and now Apocalypse genetic code. So you can't place him in Section 1 or somebody will just send an Apocalypse there. So, you know, we see him and he's just such an easy defender. He's got a small health pool. Very fragile champ. So, all right, and then you know this fight is also equally stupid. Sim is along the same lines. He obviously benefits from the defensive tactic, but like he doesn't actually do anything. I mean, you don't want to take in Venom against him or something dumb like that. But other than that, man, he's just easy. His power gain is so slow. You can kill him really before he gets off mini specials, yada yada. So, all right, once we get to the SP2, boom, fight is over. And that is my last path fight of the war. Next up, we have a rematch of Killmonger versus MODOK. So, there's a little screen flip, accidental screen flip. Okay, so I talked about this in my last war video where I did die to this fight, and it's so weird because, you know, last war was by far my worst fight against MODOK boss with Killmonger that I've ever had. And previous to that, I mean, I was just tearing this guy up. So I am pretty damn nervous at this point because I'm like, damn, that last war, it went so poorly. But I'm also thinking to myself, all right, honestly, I would have soloed that fight with over 50% health if I didn't try to, if I didn't push him to his SB2 and then try to dex his SB2. I should have just taken it on the block once I made the initial mistake of pushing him to 2 bars of power. There lies her down at the bottom, just giving me a little pep talk. He's just a potato head, just remember that. Which, of course, is very accurate. So I'm like, all right, cool. All I have to do in this fight, do what I did last time. Not quite, but all I have to do in this fight is gain True Strike and then don't push him to his SP2. And if I do those things, I know that I can take care of the rest of the fight. And you guys can probably sense that I'm talking about this for a reason. This fight is it's going to go poorly again, unfortunately. So, all right. Step 1, push him to a bar of power without losing indestructible. Step 2, gain True Strike. Boom. First steps are good. We're set up pretty nicely here. All right, just make sure that we're dexing these SP1s properly. Doing some intercepting here. Use my counter punch. Now I'm out of counter punches. I didn't throw the SP1. That's what I did last war. Pushed him to 2 bars of power. Just be patient. Back off. Dex the SP1. Boom. All right, that's not a big deal. It's okay. I still have True Strike up. We can still push him to his SP1. Use the counter punch here. All right, he's at 1 bar of power. Back up. Let's dex this. Boom. All right, now we're back in business. You guys can see we're managing the high ground fairly well. I'm going to use counter punch here just to get over that increment of 10 on my combo so I can eliminate a high ground passive. All right, boom. So like we are really in a good spot here, right? I mean, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is what it's looked like in the past, save for last war. In a good rhythm, and so you're probably thinking like, all right, he said that this fight isn't going to go well. How's he going to screw this one up? And right here, 70 to 30 on the health, and check this out. We're going to dash back. I just take the heavy. So I got locked in the hitbox there, where I tried to dex it, but I think I was a little late. And then he's throwing the heavy, and I can't, like, dex out of it. Like, the game's not letting me dex out of it. So now I'm like, holy shit. This is a repeat of last time. Like, I had him 70 to 30. The only mistakes that I could have made to put myself in this position were eat an SP1, which I did last fight, and I wasn't going to do again in this fight, or eat a heavy, which I never even expected that I could possibly do. So I'm like, all right, he's got 3 high ground charges. I have to nail this dex. I'm not going to screw it up like last time. I should have finished my combo there. Fortunately, we get through it. My God, what a nightmare. All right, so a little counterintuitive. There are 2 ways that you could look at this. I feel more confident after this fight, right? Because I was able to survive and get through it. And now I have in the last 2 matchups against this idiot, I have made the only 2 mistakes that I can make that could put me in a position to lose the fight. Now I know what I can't do. If I just avoid those 2 things, I know that I will solo that fight and most likely above 60% health. Anyway, pretty stressful there at the end. I guess that's just kind of what I do, right? I just make these fights harder than they should be. Sign of a great player, by the way. That's sarcasm. So, all right, we got through it. We won this war. 4Loki is on a 3-war win streak. We are 4 in... Oh, shit. Am I giving away the next... All right. We're on a 2-war win streak. We are now 3-2 above 500. We will have the next war video up here in a couple days. Thank you for watching. Leave a like and a comment. Subscribe if you want to, catch the notifications or whatever. And that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next one.